Hello, I'm PJ Bishop. Welcome to my channel. And here is the last and final video before we head off into the season and start playing some games. And that is my top prospect list. So let's take a look. I recommend doing this. Create a little short list of, I got three main ones. I have my top prospects. I have my draft board, which is the only players I will draft. Sounds pretty obvious there. And incoming players. Because sometimes when you trade for certain players, they get lost. Especially when you make those prospect trades where you trade off a established MLB veteran that's just too expensive for you, and you end up getting a prospect package of anywhere from 3 to 5 prospects. Yes, they get sent down to your lowest level of minor leagues, but you can kind of lose who they were and who they are and where they should be playing. So I do this because it helps me move them where they should be moved, or trades with other players. So I keep it here. So anytime I make a trade with somebody, I always shortlist those guys. But anyway, let's take a look at my prospects. So I think, like I said, we have a pretty solid organization. So 15 players that look like they should turn out to be solid major league players in the future. And we go down in position. Let's start with our catcher, Blake Mitchell, currently at the Florida complex level. He looks like he is going to be an above-average catcher as far as his actual ability. He was a draft pick. He was round 1, pick 35, so he was a supplemental pick. So again, all the draft picks will be from the AI, as I did simulate the entire first season to take over during the off season because I find that more realistic and also better for me. I think he's far off from anything of being fully low. He's going to be a good home run threat. He's going to be a decent hitter. He's actually not going to be a bad hitter. And for a catcher, I think that you're going to get this is the best you're going to get offensively. So he's actually solid because he's solid defensively, above average defensively, and it looks like he'll be a dangerous hitter when it comes to the home. He's not going to be terrible. He's not going to be like in the 30s like some of the guys that we have that can only hit home runs. He'll be just below average when it comes to the walk rate and strikeout rate, but he'll be able to hit. He's always going to be a threat for the long ball, which is what you like. I do like him. He's just a long way before we'll ever see him play in majors. We have 3 first basemen. Let's start with the guy in the highest rank, and that's Robert Perez Jr., currently sitting at the AAA level. He was good enough to where I actually invited him to spring training. He didn't do very well, as you can see here. So he's definitely a long way to go. If this is a sample of what he's going to be in the pros, he's got some ways to go to develop. I like to see his contact go up. Really would like to see his eye discipline go up, because if he's not going to be good here, which I don't expect he'll ever be good here now, be able to draw some walks. That's what it looks like he'll be able to do. We got him with the trade with Seattle, though. So I got him in a trade January 10th. So that was a pretty late trade. So he's not bad. Could develop to be a solid. He did well at AA, I think, last year. He's been slowly getting better. He's always actually raked. Low A 870, high A over 1,000, and then last year AA at 914. So I think a AAA is not too high for him. I got high hopes for him. I do like him. And then at AA is Jacob Berry. He looks like he's going to be a good, solid overall hitter, judging by this. Did slow down a little bit. He was destroying high A pitching. At AA, he slowed down a tad. Currently ranked number 59. Oh, what were the other guys? Were they ranked? I didn't see his. What about Robert Perez Jr.? He's not ranked either. But Jacob Berry is currently ranked number 59 prospect. He should be a solid major leaguer because he's going to be able to have He's going to be able to have pop, above average hitting ability. Will be strikeout prone, but that comes with pop, with home run power. But he's holding his own so far, so I like that he's progressing nicely. Um, he may see himself at Double-A all year because he is blocked by Robert Perez Jr. He's not very versatile position wise. So if he's not playing first base, the other guy's playing first base. As you can see here, he still needs lots of reps at first before he fully reaches his potential at 50. Because his first base is his best potential at 50. So there's no point in forcing him to start somewhere else where he's not going to be as good. So that's why he'll probably be at Double-A all year, unless he just forces me to call him up if he's hitting over 1,000 or something, if he's being ridiculous. And then the other first baseman is Luis Figueroa. He's in an international complex. He was one of our free agent signings. Got him pretty late, too, as you can see here, January 31st. But he looks like he's going to develop into a real solid player. Not the way you expect a first baseman to develop. He's going to be a more hitter than he's going to be a masher, or a slugger, as you would say. Less slugger, more hitter. Because he's going to be able to have elite bat-to-ball skills, which is surprising. He's got the kind of he's going to develop into an on-base type of guy. Think of like Nolan Schanuel out of the Los Angeles Angels as their first baseman. No second baseman, no pitchers either. By the way, if you saw that, no, not a single pitcher. That's going to be, I guess, all of our young pitchers are in the majors right now. No second baseman. We do have a couple of third basemen. We have Yidi Cape. I hope I'm saying that right. I don't know if I'm even saying that right. Some of these names I have no idea. Currently at Double-A. I like him. He's going to be a real solid hitter, actually. He's going to be a solid player overall, period. I think I had him. I think I had him up in spring training this year. As you can see, he struggled in spring training as well. Terrible OPS, terrible average. But he was one of those non-roster invitees. You can do that, by the way. You can invite players from your minor, get some at-bats, because what helps is they actually gain. They do gain some points or ratings boosts, so it helps them for their season. So it's a good way to develop some players. At least for a month, you get some extra development out of a player. But I didn't bring up too many guys because I wanted to make sure that my starters got some reps as well, because you want your starters to get reps because that's how they shake off some rust. But he's in Double-A. He will start back at Double-A because last year he went from High A. Actually, he went from A to High A to Double-A, and then slowed down significantly at Double-A. So he's going to need some more seasoning there before he moves up to Triple-A. And then who's the other third baseman? Cooper Pratt. He was a third-round pick last season. He's going to be a real solid hitter overall. A good solid hitter with a bunch of double play potential. Or doubles potential. Last year, didn't play very much. Played in the Florida complex. Did terrible, but it's always going to be that way. Because as I've said, for some reason this game loves bringing in players that just stink across the board. I don't know why. I wish they would make them slightly better. Either slow down the development or however you can figure it out, but figure out a way to make them much more competitive at the lower ranks, because they're not. They just come in, they're completely overmatched, and they end up just hitting like didn't even get on base. Well, he did get on base, but didn't get a single hit. They just come in terrible. We do have some shortstops. Let's start with our High A shortstop, Khalil Watson. Currently sitting here at High A. He is pretty darn good. He's a defensive stud. So if he never develops into an excellent hitter, but he looks like he's going to be okay at hitting. So being good here and excellent here makes him a extremely valuable player. Whether he's at second base or shortstop, he does have some versatility there. He's able to play third base in a pinch if you need him. You don't have to put him at third base, but he's able to do that. So as far as infield is concerned, he's got plenty of spots to move around and at least get a roster spot that way. And he's not bad on the base, but he's a real solid player. It's just a matter of, can he play better than this? He's got to keep progressing and make sure that he develops properly, because he is good enough, I think. And then our other shortstop is Phelan Celestin. He's in the Dominican Summer League. I got him out of the trade with Seattle, and I'm really happy to get him. Yeah, I can't remember who I traded to get such a excellent. Well, I traded Jesus Lazarado. So I traded a starting pitcher. But, when you're offering me a 5-star potential player, I can't give that up. Especially when he's going to have above average hitting. He's going to have good gap power. He's going to have elite home run power. He's going to be an absolute danger on the base pass. And he's actually good defensively. He's got good range. He's got a good arm. He can really play short, second, or third. Definitely fits the profile for a third baseman. But has the range to play short. He is fabulous, and he's 5-star prediction. So this is really good. What a trade by us! I thought we absolutely crushed that deal. Because you're giving up a player that's projected to be 5 stars at a premium position, which is shortstop. That's just one of the most premium. That is the most premium position, and you gave up to get really what I think is a average to above average pitcher. Okay, hope you win this year, because that's the only way it's worth it. Then we have several left fielders. This is when it gets crowded in the left field, because a lot of times when you can't put a player anywhere else, they usually get stuck to left field. Because if they can't go to right field because they don't have a strong enough arm, the rest of them get sent to left. Although the last desperate situation is send them out to first base. But if they're good enough to play in the outfield, they usually end up being in the left field. So I am happy I only have 3 left fielders instead of 7 or 8. The best one is currently at high A, and that's Jack Hurley. Looks like he's going to develop into a solid player. Can really play all the outfield spots, but left field is his home, I would say. He's going to have the good on base. He's going to be a good solid hitter overall. I like him. He was a 6th-round pick too. Not bad. 6th-round pick for such a solid player is fantastic. How did he do last year at low A? Struggled at low A. In the complex, he was destroying it. So I guess gave him a promotion to high A despite his struggles, because I think this here just reflects well, and I think he'll be fine. He'll be fine once he hits the ground running. Then I got a couple of guys in my international complex. We have Juan Baca, who is projected to be an absolute stud. I do like him. I've seen better. He's not bad. I've definitely seen better. But he's going to have elite bat-to-ball skills. He's going to have really good home run power. He's a solid player. I do like him. And then the other stud with him is Jesus Bejarano. He is the one I really like, as he's going to have even better same contact gap power, but he's going to also have elite home run power, elite contact. He's perfect contact, and he's currently a number 10 overall prospect. The other guys get ranked. Oh, Jesus Bejarano is number 10. What about the other guy? Was he ranked? Not ranked, really. I'm surprised he's not ranked. Jack Hurley get ranked? Jack Hurley is not ranked. But this kid here that I just signed, already the number 10 overall prospect, and he's still far from even competing in the Dominican Summer League. So it's just a matter of being patient with guys like this. You just got to be patient. Don't be the Seattle Mariners and trade for an average to above average starting pitcher and give up a guy although left field is not a premium position, he can play center field. He's got the range to play center field. I just wanted better air. If this ever improves, which I don't think it does, I think they're stuck with this forever. This should also improve. I don't know. I've never played long enough to really, if I had to be honest with you, I've never played long enough to find out. So I guess we'll kind of learn together. Because I like everything else he does. This is great. This is elite. He has a chance to be a real special player. And then we have a center fielder I traded for is Ceddanne Rafaela. He's from got him with a trade from Boston just not that long ago. Oh, that was actually today. Got him today. April 4th. Got him on opening day. And he is an absolute... This is a center fielder that I like. Look at that range. Look at that air. Even a good arm. He can play. He can really play anywhere. If you look at all these positions he can play. So he's an extremely versatile player because he's not that great as a hitter. Looks like he's going to be above or like right around average as a hitter. But he's got great skills on the base pass. And he's an excellent defender at all over the place. So he's like a super utility player. And I think I traded away a relief pitcher for him that I wasn't going to use. But I couldn't send it. I think it's in his contract he had a clause that I have to keep him on the active roster. But he wasn't good enough to use, so I figured I'd trade for him and end up getting what I think is an excellent player. Played real well at AA, so that's why he's going to get the AAA start. As you can see, last year he was 864, which is really good. Anytime you get in the 800s, you're talking about a good to really good player. Depending how high you get up to 864 is really good. But defensively, he's a stud. True center fielder. And then on the last positions, they're right fielders. We got Walker Jenkins, which I like him because I drafted him in real life. Well, not really in real life. In my dynasty fantasy league, I drafted him before he was even drafted in the major league. I drafted him, and I'm liking him now. I think he's currently like the number 10 overall. I can't remember. He's in the top 10. I think now he's going to be a stud if he hits the way he's hitting. If he continues to develop the way he's developing in real life, he's going to be one of the best players in baseball. But it does look good. It looks like he's going to be a solid right fielder for us. He's going to develop into a really solid player. Really like him. He was the first round 10th overall pick. In real life, he went, I think, number 4 or 5. I think number 5. Currently ranked number 61. And he's only going to get better as he is legitimately an absolute stud. He's a big man, too. I think he's like 6'4" or something. Really like him a lot. Like him in real life and like him in this game, too. It's kind of cool I get to have him. And then the other right fielders, we have Jose Gerardo. I got him currently in Dominican Summer League. Again, it takes them forever to develop. They're just not good enough to be in this is not. He should have never been in low A. He shouldn't really even be in the Dominican Summer League. There's no spot. There's no league lower than that. Unfortunately, if I look at him for Dominican, he's okay. That's not even good for the Dominican. That's why I don't understand why this game makes them so bad. Because they're not even competitive at the lowest possible level. But nonetheless, I can't control that. He looks like he's going to be a solid defender. That's going to end up being his biggest tool is his powerful arm and his possible really good home run power. If that fully develops, this is what will get him to the majors. His arm and his power will get him to the majors, but they got to both coincide. Because there's plenty of good guys I can stick at right field. So just being a good right field is not enough to warrant calling him to the show. This is gonna have to pan out or get better, one or the other. And then the other right fielder, the last player, is Sebastian Walcott, another player I got from Seattle. See, Seattle was just giving me away prospects for a average pitcher. Looks good as well. I do like him. He will be a much better hitter. He's going to be a good overall hitter. If you look at this, everything is above average at least. This guy has the potential to be better than what his ratings suggest. like a real actual stud. So we're definitely loaded. It's just that we're so far away from seeing them in the major league. Because again, he's only in Dominican Summer League, and on my second team. Marlins have two of them, so I have my Marlins 1 and my Marlins 2. I send the less developed players to the second team. Not that it matters. I think they play in the same league anyway. But he actually held his own, sort of. I think 826, and that was in the Arizona complex. So that's even higher competition. So he did hold his own, even though he is, not good at all. As you can see here, he's a half a star, and that's so when you do this, you can kind of figure out whether you could call somebody up. So if you're trying to determine like where your prospect should be, just go to ratings relative to whatever league you plan to call him up to. So I have it at the lowest, which is Dominican Summer League, and he's a half a star for the Dominican Summer League, and nothing is good. Now he has the potential to be 80 grade everything, obviously, because he has the potential to be one of the best major league players. But just use this to your advantage or to help you if you're trying to figure out if a player is ready for a higher level or not. Because you don't want to have them struggling because they're not going to develop properly. And that's it for the prospects. A really good list of 5. I mean, if you look at this, we got 4 guys who are projected to be perfect. 2 left fielders, a shortstop, and a right fielder. But of course, one of these can maybe move to center or a different position if I have to. So I think there's definitely plenty of room to have everybody. But they're high off. I think if you look at the level of play, only 2 guys at AAA right now. So he's the only one that's capable of maybe playing. So we're far from seeing any of these make an impact for me in the actual show. So we'll have to make do with what we have right now. So that's it for this video. I'm going to have to start playing some games and see if I can do a good job and play 500 ball as my owner has requested. We'll see you at the end of April.